Hello, everyone. So we are now live. We are doing another one of our Future Work 24-hour live. These conversations are leading us up to our open space conference, our open space event that's happening tomorrow. I'm just kind of figuring out what day it is today. It's Wednesday today. We are starting Thursday. We're starting Thursday, May 13th. And the conversation we're having here today is with Mariana and Jenna. And maybe you want to introduce yourself. Jenna, do you want to start? Say a little bit about where you're located and also what function you have in our event this year. You're all part of the community.
Well, hi. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Jenna. I'm based here in Los Angeles. Um, I also had the opportunity to live in Spain for 6 months, Argentina for 3 years, and have been working remotely the last 6 years. I've worked maybe over 10 years in higher education, as well as an ed tech startup where we exited 3 years. And I've been doing consulting where my clients range in nonprofit startups, accelerators, and I help with building the community experiences, community events, partnerships, and learning and development. I'm really excited because I'm new, so I'm excited to check it out for Future Work 24 Hours. And my role is in the marketing in Circle B, which is the now trilingual Espanol and Portuguese. So I am curious and excited and just here to meet people. I'm an extreme extrovert. I've been working remotely for 6 years. That's why I go to these things and to connect and to be with people and to have these conversations. So I'll pass it along to Mariana.
Hey, I take the ball, as we say
Yeah.
here in Spain. So, I'm Mariana, Brazilian originally. I actually, when I met Jenna, I think I told you, Jenna, I think probably we have crossed at some point because I'm now currently based in Spain, Madrid. Used to live in Argentina for almost 7 years, and had many work life reincarnations, as I say, lives. So lately, I think for the last probably 5 years, I have been working mostly with people and culture. Before being at Rebel Talent, where I'm working right now as a consultant, I used to be a human resources or people and culture organizational development manager, director, and now I work in Rebel Talent as a consultant, mostly with employee experience design projects, and also trainer around the hybrid and new ways of working. And I'm really happy. This is my second Future of Work event. Last year, I had the opportunity to work with Lean and other amazing colleagues in Circle A, if I remember well, Lean.
Yes.
This was a bilingual circle, Spanish and English. As a producer, I was working, I was volunteering actually. And now I am together with Pedro as a facilitator. We'll be the facilitators for the Circle B. It's tomorrow, Madrid evening. And also working with Jenna and other colleagues. So I'm very excited because somehow I think it's due to those strange serendipia. Somehow we managed to, or maybe Lean, April, or the rest of the Future of Work organizational team, they managed to bring together a lot of Brazilians or people that were connected to Brazil or that are living currently in Portugal. So I think it was like 1 month ago, maximum top, we decided let's try to build a trilingual circle, knowing that we are able to actually hold the space in those three languages. But of course, we would like to invite folks that are not afraid or want to explore this cross national, cross language, cross idiom culture dialogue, because we will be using, we'll have a lot of support. We'll have people that will be working as scribers. They will helping us to translate all of the things that we will be talking, dialoguing. We'll have a special app that will allow us to actually dialogue in different languages, like at the same time. And we'll have also amazing colleagues that will be doing graphic recording. So we are trying to actually hold a space with a lot of cues that will help everyone to be as much inclusive as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening, but I'm pronouncing. I think I am already thinking as a trilingual person because during the last week, I'm having problems to speak Spanish, Portuguese, and English separately. So, and I would throw the ball to you, Lynn. Back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, for those of you who have not met me before, I am one of the co founders, together with April Jefferson, of the Future of Work 24 Hours event that we started 3 years ago. And this is our third event. And you can see that we have new people come in, and we have also people who've stayed with us and continue to evolve. We're always experimenting in this space. And you can see this. This time around, we're doing a trilingual circle. So just to kind of point that out, that we're going to be supporting Portuguese, English, and Spanish in this circle. And we've already tried several times to support multiple languages to make the space more inclusive. Also to make sure that we are including voices in different regions of the world. So I'm curious to hear some of your points of view. And Jenna, maybe you want to step in. Like, what are your curiosities around seeing more Latin voices, Portuguese, Brazilian voices coming into the space tomorrow? What do you think they're going to bring up that's different?
Yeah, I mean, also the way I see it is, that's why I love languages so much. I tangent. I took Japanese for 2 years, and I've been to Japan for 3 years. I know. I'm sorry. I went to Japan 3 times. But do we also have a circle that is speaking Japanese as well?
We have an Asian
No.
circle that's supporting multiple languages, but not as a
Cool.
bilingual English. No. No.
Ah, okay. And currently I'm taking German right now, but and I also know very, very, very basic French. But like, the point is, like, I think there's such a beauty in languages, and I think it's just, it tells who we are. I think it's also exploring culture, and I also don't necessarily see it as like, well, here's the Latin voice. I think it's just us being ourselves at the end of the day,
Mm,
but we can express ourselves in whatever way. And I think that's what's cool about this conference is there will be like graphic recorders and sense making. And I think like we can bring all these layers. Like if you want to
mm,
draw, if you want to write, if you want to dance or mindfulness, I think it's the beauty of what it means to be human and the way we express ourselves, and language is just such a fascinating thing. So having the opportunity to speak in your native language, I speak native English, but after also living in different countries, I couldn't speak it before, just from learning in high school. I had to live it, and now it's a part of me.
mm.
My all forms of media, my phone, my devices, technology is all in Spanish. I try to switch it to, because I also took Brazilian Portuguese in Buenos Aires, and
Mm.
I just found like, why languages, because it's just a way to connect with people. At the end of
Yes.
the day, like I feel like when you can speak another language, like doors open, and you get to feel this emotional connection with people, and it's already like a bond. And even if you try, and I say this where it's like, let's make fools of ourselves, and that's how I learned. I only speak very basic, but it's like,
Mm,
and this is also what I learned with creativity and divergent thinking and improv, and it's just letting go. And I
mm,
think that's the values of this conference is acceptance, being ourselves, being authentic, not being afraid to make mistakes, getting vulnerable, and yeah, like, so I'm going all over the place, but I that's what I think is the beauty of languages, and the beauty of inclusivity is to be ourselves and to express in any way you want, and that connection.
Yeah. And it's actually some of the things that we saw last year in the bilingual Spanish English circle. Was there a lot of English speakers coming in and being very humbled by the experience and really taking on that challenge, being like, okay, I want to try and host this with this app that's translating and making sure that we're doing languages at the same time. So that kind of awareness for other people who are not necessarily having multiple languages in their pockets, but still being able to dialogue in this space. So Mariana, as you being based out of Spain, what are some of the things that you've seen in terms of future of work topics coming out in the area that you are working with
Mm-hmm.
clients there that you think or could bubble up or hoping bubbling up, or also that you may be bringing
Mm-hmm.
to the awareness
Yeah,
tomorrow when we're
sure.
starting?
So, things are, of course, hybrid new ways of working, and not necessarily, I would say, not necessarily hybrid thinking as working from home, working from the office. Lately, myself, I have been exploring different ways of hybrid, that they are not just around like a Zoom call. I have been
Mm-hmm.
exploring how can we collaborate with virtual reality, and I know people here that are already talking a little bit about this. At the end, we are. I mean, our event, our main theme is unimaginable possibilities, and maybe this is one of them. Uh, Besides, I think the other day was the other day. It was like a month ago. We have a client that asked our helps to try to help their team to build a new digital culture uh, within the team.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that really I really paid attention when he told us, we are now in the going to the industry, the 5.0 industry, and it's not just about technology. I think the future of work, or the automatization or hyper automatization, is something that is already here. We are already seeing how this is changing the way we work and we collaborate. But the next thing will be to bring back to the to our perspective a people centric approach,
Yes.
because it doesn't matter if you have the best technology, the best hyper automatized processes. People will be using this, people will be making sense of this. So I think it's time to start to explore this, and I have seen people that are already exploring this in Spain. And employee experience. And I think those things are all together and connected.
Yes.
And I also think, as Jenna, probably I hope to see that probably we will find more things in common once we at least accept that we do have this language barrier that influences the way that we, not just the way that we think, but the way that we position ourselves regarding to others. So I think probably those spaces will help people to actually get the courage, the value to try to connect with others, and start to build this cross-cultural skill that I think, for me at least, starts with let me try to connect with you. I won't be able to speak a perfect English. I won't be able to speak even a perfect Spanish, but I will try, and I will use the tools that I have. And probably at the end, I think we'll find many things in common. Some things probably will be different. For instance, we were talking about how to make even the we'll be using a Miro board throughout the event. And 2 days ago, we were talking within the team that is facilitating this circle. How can we make this board as light as possible, like regarding to the capacity of the board and how your RAM memory from your computer is being used, so that folks from different regions with different internet connections, different laptops, different hardware, they can connect. Because probably once we are able to actually connect with each other regardless of the language, probably we'll find things in common and things that needs to be addressed, and probably this is one of them.
Mm.
Accessibility.
Yeah. I love how you're thinking in terms of like to make sure this space it really becomes an invitation and accessible for that for everybody, like that people can step in, and that and this is something that we've constantly is looking at in the overall of the event of like both in terms of ticket prices, and I'm just gonna
Hmm.
throw in the bit.ly here. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, you can still grab it. And the tickets are but whatever you can pay, you can grab a free ticket. We've had a lot of other people who donate so that other people can grab the ticket, so that the monetary does not have to be a barrier. So similar to what you're talking about here, making sure that bandwidth doesn't become a barrier in terms of
Hmm.
how people access in, that language doesn't become a barrier, and and all this to try and make it as human and as people centric. So it's interesting how you're seeing these trends in Spain, some of the same trends that I'm seeing here in the US of like, yes, let's not. I think some of the first steps in terms of future of work was around the technology, and there's still a huge hunger and curiosity and a lot of funds put into the technology piece of it. But then there's a counter or a parallel curiosity around, well, yes, we can do a lot, but how can we make sure
Hmm.
that we're keeping that heart in there and those voices in there? And part of that is what we're going to be doing here and what you guys are going to be doing with the
Yeah.
different tools. Like, it's not perfect. We're going to take a tool here, we're going to try here, we're going to be humble, we're going to try and mix and match it and see where that brings us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like, okay, you're going to still go in and it's going to be a virtual reality where there's bots that's translating. No, it's us that's going to try and make this work.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So it is human centered in that way. um, when So Jenna, you have been part of promoting and pitching things in different languages in the on as part of the marketing team. What are some of the things that you've been aware of as you are promoting the event? When you're writing a post in Spanish, when you're writing a post in Portuguese, what are some things that you're aware of to try and capture that audience in different parts of the world?
Well, a lot of it is, I would say, experimentation, but that's what we do. It's we have to test things, we have to try things, and we make mistakes, and that's how we learn. And at the end of the day, I think it's amplifying voices, or and it's us telling our stories, right? But I think what draws people is this is for people who want to swim in the open space. I think there's some people who it can make you feel uncomfortable, but that's the point, is to get out of our comfort zone and to embrace it. But I think a lot of us have learned how to do that within the last 3 years, right? I
Hmm.
think for this event is for people who value connection and community and global and inclusivity. And by us having the opportunity to play, you know, in lot using lots of different tools and modes and being ourselves, I think is huge.
Mm,
And to comment earlier about the whole thing of like regions, or wherever, whatever part of the world, you could speak any language. You could be in Canada, you could be in Antarctica and speak Portuguese and Espanol, like um I'm really curious to hear people's stories, and I think that's what this is about, is for us to exchange, and exchange
mm,
means sharing ourselves and then listening,
mm,
and seeing how we can help each other.
mm,
That's why we're doing this. And perhaps there are curious, interesting ways of how people are doing things in Bolivia compared to Nicaragua, wherever. Again, it could be Idaho,
mm,
Yeah.
and I think it's that's what I'm excited about. And storytelling, I know it sounds so cheesy, but it's the truth, that like this is who we are as human beings over generations of what inspires you and what scares you, and what's uh what are challenges, yes, or yeah, inequities, what are injustices, but also
mm,
like what that's what the whole point of unimagined possibilities are. We see these challenges, we see these differences, but how can we embrace and be like kids again and create and imagine? And I feel like in our worlds right now, we're isolated. We have to be intentional to create serendipity. And how else could we do it in an open space where you could go in and out? You could join whenever you'd like. Pacific time here is 11 a.m. to 3:30. Um, and this is where we can create space for us to think and ponder and in a world of distractions and competing for your energy and attention. But I know it's difficult in a remote way, but it's also the beauty to be able to connect with people all over the world. So yeah, but what do you think, Mariana?
I was thinking because like I didn't even thought about the remote, and I have been working remote most of my life and during the last 2 years and a half, 100%. And but one thing I see now is that people, I don't know if you see the same where you are right now in the US, but I see that people, they are really willing to get back to a room and being together with other people and see, and touch each other. But I think one thing that I would love that we keep from those last 2 years is the idea and the intention to connect with people from anywhere. Because probably I don't know if you, the two of you, but I was able to connect with so many amazing people and build so much knowledge, so much sense for myself and for the work that we are doing. I hope for the other people that I connected with. And if, I think places like this, like the future of work, they are the perfect places to actually keep this good habit going on. You
Yeah.
know, let's not, let's keep expanding, knowing that okay, now I want to have this experience of working together with other people. I want to go to a seminar, to a conference, to a workshop that is on site, but let's also be open. And I
Yes.
think those kind of spaces and remote spaces, they actually allow us to do this. And I must say that I'm very curious. As Jenna, we need to talk more because I was also
Yeah.
into Japanese and many other languages in German, just for the sake of, like, for the fun of actually learning this and being able to communicate. Um, but yeah, I think this kind of space is really special. And I'm so curious. I have been attending so many other events throughout those two
Mm-hmm.
years, and I'm really happy, not just because I am part of this circle, but I'm really happy that a global event has the the concern to create those kind of spaces. Because sometimes we think, okay, let's make a global conference and conference wherever, and let's do everything in English, and they don't go further. And I'm so happy that this
Mm-hmm.
community actually accept the challenge to go further and try to design and hold these kind of spaces. And as Lynn said, we will probably make a lot of mistakes, we will learn a lot, we'll have fun, we will, and I'm very happy.
And one thing I want to say also, because just on the whole language piece as we're wrapping up here, is that there's definitely conferences who's going a long ways in terms of making sure that there's captures on when people are speaking and there's translators, but it's still very heavy English focus. And then there's this like translation for those who need the translation, where I think what you're doing with the trilingual circle, you're flipping this.
We're flipping.
There's three languages, and these languages are going to be represented in the space. And on that note, I want to wrap up because we've
Yes.
been talking in English because you're honoring my abilities. We could have done it in Danish, but then it would have been a solo conversation. But so maybe if I could ask you both, Mariana in Portuguese and you, Jenna, in Spanish, to just give a 1 minute paraphrasing or catch up of what we talked about here. I know that's a
Okay,
Yeah.
challenge. But
that's a challenge.
Bueno, y
Jenna.
otra cosa que quería decir, que la cosa muy linda para mañana, y entonces yo espero que todos vengan mañana, por favor, y nos vemos allá y nos encontramos y nos conocemos. Pero la cosa única es como esta conferencia, bueno, hay una oportunidad para crear y ser flexible, como que no hay reglas, digamos, o como si hay estructura, pero cada uno puede dar feedback, puede dar su opinión y también sus historias y contar. Y la cosa linda para escuchar al otro, para estar presente. Y eso es la cosa muy linda de ser creativo. No sabemos qué vamos a crear, pero me parece el objetivo es conectarse, es compartir. Entonces, bienvenidos a todos, seguimos hablando y también después de la conferencia es una oportunidad para seguir con la comunidad por todo el año y seguimos con la conversación y compartir los mismos valores y pasiones. Y otro punto es como la oportunidad de tener tiempo abierto, con espacio abierto para pensar, porque me parece en este mundo todo es como tan productivo, boom, boom, como y, y realmente la imaginación está en el espacio abierto para ser relajado. Entonces, eso es mucho, pero gracias a todos.
1 minuto, 1 minute, right? I try to wrap
Perdón.
up.
If you can.
Então, pessoas do Brasil e de Portugal, a gente estava contando como vai ser o evento do Future of Work. É um open space, é um espaço aberto que vai durar 24 horas. Ele é global. Nós vamos ter um espaço, um círculo, como nós chamamos, que vai ser um círculo trilingue, no qual vamos ter toda uma equipe de facilitadores, produtores, scribers, graphic recorders. Enfim, desculpa não saber bem a tradução ao português, mas vai ter toda uma equipe de pessoas que vão estar sustentando, segurando esse espaço, criando esse espaço para que as pessoas, tanto que falam inglês, espanhol, português, possam dialogar. Nós queremos convidar vocês para que possam trazer as experiências, que têm as expectativas. O nosso tema são os futuros, as possibilidades inimagináveis desse futuro do trabalho. A gente espera que seja um espaço de conexão, em que vocês possam aceitar e desfrutar dessa intenção de se comunicar com independência de não saber exatamente, perfeitamente a língua do outro. Nós vamos ter tradutores que vão estar escrevendo as coisas, vamos ter uma app. E é isso, a gente espera vocês amanhã. Vai ser no horário da noite aqui de Madrid, o horário do Brasil vai ser mais ou menos, eu acho que pelas 4 da tarde. Brazil time will be around 4 p.m., right? Around this, I think. Yes. Então, vai ser mais ou menos pelas 4 da tarde. É um evento que você paga o que você puder, porque a gente também quer que seja inclusivo para todas as pessoas, independente de onde elas estão. Muito obrigada. That's it.
That's it. So I did understand quite a bit of the Spanish. The Portuguese, I was more lost. But wonderful. Thank you for coming and having a conversation with me. We'll see many of our listeners for our Future of Work 24 hours that kicks off tomorrow, Thursday, May 12th. Thank you both.
Thank you. Obrigada.
Hasta mañana. Até logo.
Até amanhã.
Tchau.
Tchau.